With over 22 million ways to make passive income in crypto, it can be quite confusing and sometimes even frustrating to choose the right option. If you've been in the game for a while, you've probably already experienced that sometimes something looks too good to be true. And in fact, most of the time it turns out that it really was. While other times a strategy proves to be very successful, but you might be asking yourself how long it can work until it turns out that it also was too good to be true. Out of the big pool of passive income ideas, I chose 3 that I think are the easiest to begin with, while also focusing on low risk, long-term gains so that you can keep compounding the interest over a long period of time. Now I need to say that these are in no particular order, but I'd like to start with the one I have been using the longest, which are FreeCommerce DCA bots. Now if you've never heard of FreeCommerce, basically it's a crypto platform that lets you connect to multiple exchanges. So for example Binance or FTX, which are the biggest, and then you can set up fully automated trading bots completely for free. If you don't have an account yet, you can use the link in the description and sign up to get a discount if you ever decide to upgrade your plan. I'll be making an extra video about FreeCommerce, so also stay tuned for that. FreeCommerce also offers a few different types of bots. So for example, there are DCA bots, there are grip bots, but there are also options bots. Now, if you've never created a DCA bot before, or you're not familiar with dollar cost averaging at all, I would recommend creating a Gordon bot. A Gordon bot is basically a DCA bot, but you don't have to configure anything because these are already presets that FreeCommerce has made for you. So there are 3 different presets available, either a conservative strategy, a moderate strategy, or an aggressive strategy. If you're looking for low risk, long-term gains, I will consider creating a moderate or a conservative strategy. On the other hand, if you're looking for quick gains, I would recommend choosing the aggressive option. After creating the Gordon bot, you can even fine-tune the settings. So maybe if you don't like what the bot is doing or how it's performing, you can then choose to change the settings afterwards. If you want to have full control of what your bot is doing, however, you can go ahead and click on Advanced so you can create an advanced DCA bot. When choosing an advanced DCA bot, there are a few settings that you have to input. In the beginning, it's just a name and exchange. Then you have to choose whether the bot is only trading one pair or if it's trading multiple pairs. After that, you can choose the pairs that the bot is trading. So in this example, I will just choose all BUSD pairs. So it will input all the BUSD pairs that are available on Binance. After that, you come to the strategy section where you input how many active deals can be opened simultaneously by the bot. You determine the strategy, so whether it's a long or a short bot, and a few other settings. You can also then configure a deal starting condition, which can also be used in combination with TradingView. So maybe if you already have an active indicator that you programmed yourself, or you just have a strategy that you want to use for the DCA bots, you can link the TradingView settings or your TradingView indicator to your FreeCommerce DCA bot, which will then automatically create a deal whenever your TradingView script says so. There are also other built-in indicators like a QFL or just a basic TradingView buy and strong buy indicators. You can then also set the target profit, a stop loss, and you can then configure the safety orders, which is basically the dollar cost averaging part. So every time we buy again, this is called a safety order. Now on this account, I've been using a bot for 2 months now. You can see it's called Mars, and if you click on the view, you can see on the right a few statistics about the bot. So we can see that it has been running since the 14th of January, and now yesterday was the 12th of February. So it has been running for 2 months, and in these 2 months, it has generated a total profit of $12,679. You can also see a breakdown per day, so you can see that the profit does not come in daily, but considering that it has made so much profit, it doesn't really matter to me if it's coming in on a daily basis. I just want to max out the profit as much as possible. You can also see a breakdown by the pair, so you can see which pair has made the most profit, and you can do a little analysis maybe every month to see, okay, maybe I'll have to switch up the pairs because they're not performing as well as I expected them, and now there are better pairs that I should let my bots trade. You can also see the current amount in positions, And you can see how much profit has been already completed by the deals, which is the 12.6k. You can see how many funds are currently locked in the bot, and you can see that $24,000 are currently unrealized profit of active bot deals. Now, what's also cool about FreeCommerce is if you've never configured a DCA bot before and you don't have any experience, and also maybe you don't want to use Gordon bots, there's a marketplace available where all users on FreeCommerce can share their configurations of the bot on this marketplace, and you can just copy them for free. So what I like to do is I click on explore more presets, then I go to the longest running bots because I focus on long-term gains and not just quick profits in 1 month. Now you can see this bot has been running for more than 299 days, which is almost a year, which is very good. Unfortunately, you cannot filter for longer than 300 days, which I would like, but since this platform has only been online for 5 years, I think that's also why. So this is a bot that I would consider looking into. You can then go ahead, copy this one, and then just let it run and try it out. The second strategy I really like using are grid bots, and I've also made a video about grid bots if you don't know what they are, so you can check this video out. But basically, the grid bots I'm using are the one that Binance offers, but grid bots are also available on a lot of other platforms. So Pionex is a popular platform out there which also offers grid bots in a few other variations, but I just like to use Binance since it's the biggest exchange and therefore it has the most volume behind the trading pairs. There are 2 grids available on Binance, which is either a spot grid, so it will trade on the spot currency with no leverage, or you can use a futures grid where you can also use leverage for the grid bot so you can make even more profit. Right now I'm using a futures grid bot, and there was just a grid bot that completed for me. So if you take a look at the history, you can see that I've already had a grid bot running with an initial margin of $97. It made a total profit of $10, which resulted in around 10.73% in only 3 days. So we can look at further details if we click on view, and we can see that it calculated an annualized yield of over 1000%. Now obviously the 1000%, if you really let it run for 1 year, it will never come to the 1000%, but it's just a nice calculation to see that they actually work, and you can see I made around 10% in 3 days, which is a really nice profit. Right now I have also one more futures grid bot running with a leverage of 10 and an initial margin of $115. It has been running for 1 day and 6 hours, and it has generated a total profit of 1.5%. Again, if you click on view, we can see that now this grid bot does not have an annualized yield of over 1000%, but it's at 450%, which I'll also happily take if this really comes out as my annualized yield, which it probably won't. To create the grid bot, you can either create a spot grid bot where you can just set in the lower price and upper price, then you input the grids, you then tell the bot how much money it has to invest, and then you can just let it run. On the futures grid, it's a little more complicated. There are 2 different options. You can either choose an auto-generated grid bot, so this is using an AI strategy, which just analyzes the price of the recent, I think it's about 10 days, and then it chooses a lower price point and an upper price point and also a grid number. You can see that the profit per grid, if I would use this automatically generated grid bot, would be 0.43 to 0.65% per grid. You can then choose if you want it to be a neutral grid bot. That would mean it would consider selling and buying. If you're choosing a long grid bot, it would only create buy levels, and on the short side, it would only create short levels. Otherwise, you can also choose to do it manually. Maybe if you don't like the lower price or you don't like the upper price, you can just choose manual, just like when you're creating a spot grid. You can then choose your margin mode, which is either crossed, which I would be very careful, or isolated. Then you can choose the leverage, which I would not recommend to use above 20, especially if you don't know what you're doing. Then you can put in the lower price, an upper price, and the grid quantity. And then you can also set how much money you want the bot to trade with. Now these require a little more monitoring, since when using a grid bot, they will not work forever. So it can be that the price will either sometime be below your lower level, or it will be above your upper level, and then the grid bot will automatically stop, which is what happened with this grid bot here. So with this grid bot, I had set a grid automatically, and then after 3 days and 8 hours, the price, I think, went above the upper price level. Then it stopped the grid bot and all my open positions were closed, and resulted obviously the last position in a loss. However, the total profit still resulted in 10.7%, so I'm happy with that. Now there's the last option available that I wanted to show, which is very likely the one with the lowest risk, because it's just a savings account. So you probably already have a normal savings account for your dollar or for your euro, for your simple fiat currency, but also in the crypto space, there are savings accounts available which offer a way higher return than your current bank account. So what I would recommend, if you want to be, or if you want to have the lowest risk available, I would recommend saving stablecoins, because stablecoins, as in the name, they're always at $1, so they don't fluctuate. So the 7% in this case you would get on a yearly basis will really always be 7%, and it will not fluctuate with the underlying price. So if you first look at this, you might be more interested in investing or saving with Cake, because it offers a 12% return rather than a 7% return. But as I just said, I would be really careful when not saving or not staking stablecoins, because it will fluctuate with the underlying asset price. So maybe you make 12% in Cake per year, so your Cake increases by 12%, but the dollar value, the underlying dollar value of the Cake maybe went down 50%, so in total you would also lose money. So the lowest risk option available would be to just save stablecoins, or you can also stake stablecoins. Now these are flexible savings, which means that you get the interest on a daily basis, and you can always choose to withdraw the money or to deposit even more. On the other hand, there are also locked savings available, where you have to give away your cryptos for a certain amount of days, and then you will get it back plus the interest that you've earned in the meantime. So if we look at AXS, we have an annualized interest rate of 25%, meaning that if you lock this for 1 year, you will get 25% more when you'll get it back. In this case, you can lock it for either 7 or 15 days. You can see that if you only lock it for 7 days, it's an annualized interest rate of 25%, and for 15 days, it would be 15%. Again, I would be very careful, because these are not stable coins. So in the 7 days, maybe you get an annualized interest rate of 25%, but in those 7 days, the price could also just go down by 10%, and then you would lose a lot of money, even though in the end you have more AXS than in the beginning. Now these are my 3 favorite ways to make passive income in crypto. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite ways to make passive income in crypto are. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.